Welcome to the future, often viewed as perhaps a world dominated by technology, or rather your local excerpt from a science fiction novel, or the classic analogy between the workings of man and that of a computer, has never been one for humans to foresee, but often it is imagined that society could have possibly advanced in this time to allow cars run in the sky, or have robots walk alongside humans, or even giving forth to the core concepts that make up this sought-after universe: efficiency, sustainability, and of course, elegance. But, my dear viewers, can we ever even see this fantastical world as reality? Is it truly possible to design a world so perfectionally perfect, to advance technology to a limit that knows no bounds? Hello and welcome to a deep dive on how one aspect of current AI technology, sentiment analysis, can possibly discern a societal future on recognizing human sentiment through computers. Our names are Megan and Victoria Zhang, and we're here to bring a comprehensive presentation on the limits, boundaries, and possible future of artificial intelligence. So before we begin, let us ask ourselves this: to what extent can sentiment analysis mimic the human brain? Or in other words, what is the future of sentiment analysis, and how can it apply to how we are going to advance our society? So let us first get an overview of what is sentiment analysis exactly. So sentiment analysis, in rather basic terms, is quite simply the process of studying subjective information given various sources. And the application of sentiment analysis applies very widely to many technologies we use today, especially improving efficiency of operations such as marketing, customer service, healthcare, among other examples relating back to automated responses and more. So now that we have a grasp on what sentiment analysis is, let's take a look into how it works, how it applies, and how it relates. So we'll divide this presentation into three sections. The first being a dissection of the work in sentiment analysis, the second being the application and importance of its current technology, and the last finally relating all the research back to our initial question: what is the future of sentiment analysis? So let's move on to our first section, dissecting the way sentiment analysis works. So what is it made of? How does it work exactly? So really the concepts that sentiment analysis uses can be distilled into three main parts. First being natural language processing, next being text analysis, or more affectionately known as text mining, and the last being computational linguistics. So first of all, natural language processing is rather the field of computer science more aimed in artificial intelligence that gives computers the ability to understand and analyze text the way humans can. So application of this in the real world on which it is used on its own can be the text-to-speech feature, also customer service chatbots, and also real-time text summarization tools. For text analysis, it is also known as text mining. A lot of computer scientists call it text mining instead. It is the automated process of sorting unstructured text or data. So they receive text and data, but then they will parse it to extract machine-readable fact out of it. And this is very applicable in the real world on its own, and in uses such as customer surveys, product reviews, and feedback, as well as the provenance of search facility. And then the last concept we'll go over here is computational linguistics. So computational linguistics models human language in the form of text or rule-based modeling. So rather than fully taking apart the emotion behind communication, it aims to understand it through artificial artifacts. So a few applications of this: search engines, speech recognition, and text-to-speech synthesizers.
Other than the concepts just shown, there are three general ways sentiment analysis may work. The first is a rule-based approach, which is more human-based and is based off of a human-made library of words. The second is an automatic approach, which is more AI-based and learns to associate input with output. It involves many deep models such as naive Bayes, regression, deep learning, and support vector machines. Hybrid approach combines both these approaches and are often more accurate. So here's some more on machine learning classification algorithms. Naive Bayes uses Bayes' theorem and probability to predict categories. Linear regression is commonly used in statistics to predict y based on x. Support vector machines uses examples as points in a multidimensional space to map categories, and deep learning mimics the human brain through convolutional neural networks. So how would sentiment analysis be applied today? Sentiment analysis today is most commonly used in business, whether it be through identified customer and employee voice or through product analysis. Aside from business, it is also used in research in both the political and psychological fields, as both are involved in observing the subjectivity of people. Another sentiment analysis example is the linguistic inquiry and word count, also known as LIWC. This was developed by psychologists interested in seeing the correlation between language and emotion, and it reads a given text and counts the percentage of words that reflect emotions, thinking, social concerns, and even parts of speech. Because it is more based off of identifying certain words, it is more of a rule-based method. It would pick out these words through dictionaries that generally include words that relate to the given category, which can include articles, pronouns, anger, and thinking. After identifying percentage of words, the text is then scored. Today, all this can be accomplished for thousands of files within seconds. LIWC analyzes a variety of text, from poems to blogs, just any document containing words. However, just like any other sentiment analysis program, LIWC still has its flaws, especially when facing isolated words. It may predict an incorrect sentiment. It can't recognize sarcasm or humor, just like humans. When put into the bigger picture of psychological research, it may misinterpret many texts' meaning.
So now that we've worked over the present reality of sentiment analysis, let's relate it back to our initial question. What is the future of sentiment analysis, and what are the extents to which it can go to mimic the human mind? So as mentioned shortly previously, the limits of sentiment analysis are as follows, and it follows the same way as other current machine learning technologies. It cannot identify sarcasm, irony, negative statements, exaggerations the same ways humans can, and often the computer misinterpretations of such statements like this lead to difficulty in the machine correctly mimicking human sentiment. So really, if we are to foresee a future in which essay could become more prevalent in the use of machine learning technologies, it would have yet to develop to take in relevant context rather than isolated statements. So let's go back to our original question. So can human sentiment analysis ever fully mimic the human mind? Again, it is the dream of every science fiction novelist and every crazed technology specialist that robots possibly walking alongside humans, mimicking emotions, sometimes even becoming human-like creatures themselves, can possibly be a reality in the future. However, the question is aroused once more, can technology or sentiment analysis truly ever mimic the human mind? And the answer is no. Well, at least not for the next few decades. See, the past and the future diverge around the point that is this: the human brain, the human mind, human passion, human emotion is limitless, and to truly describe technology to be able to cover limits to that extent, well, it may simply remain a scientific dream. So it is an incredibly difficult issue, and sarcasm and other types of ironic language are inherently problematic for machines to detect when looked at in isolation. So it is imperative that we have a sufficiently sophisticated and rigorous enough approach that relevant context can be taken into account in the future, should we ever wish to advance to that level.